You're done now?
I'm done now.
Okay. Okay.
This is Jean. Monica, can you send it to me again? I don't have it in emails. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and move on. Our next session is going to be Times 101. Some people have the idea that club growth is strictly the responsibility of the club growth director. No, everyone has a role in the development and growth of new clubs. We are honored today to have previous District 37 Director Bill Marlow, who is going to tell us about the division and area directors' roles in developing new clubs. Bill?
Rich, if
Hello,
I
Rich.
could do a formal introduction for Bill.
Yeah. Oh, be my guest.
Stand by. Stand by, Bill.
Okay.
Bill Marlow, Distinguished Toastmaster, is the past District 37 Director for 2018-2019 Toastmasters year. On May 1st, 2020, Bill celebrated his 10-year anniversary. He believes that ongoing training and development at all levels of our district is essential for putting our members in the position to maximize the Toastmasters education program. His proudest achievements as the District 37 Director were prioritizing the Toastmasters promise as the absolute foundation for executing all things Toastmasters at the highest level, creating the District 37 Legacy Club program, which designated the 25 active clubs in District 37 that were chartered before 1980 as legacy clubs. A patch with the District 37 Legacy Club logo was commissioned and provided to each of these clubs to be displayed on their club banners. These clubs are the foundation of District 37 and now District 117. Bill is currently serving District 117 as the club extension chair, as well as editor of the monthly newsletter, Pathfinder. He is excited to present today's session, New Clubs 101. Please welcome Bill.
Thank you, Madam District Director. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. So can I just go ahead and share my screen to bring my presentation up? Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. It is exciting to be here. Sorry it can't be in person. I miss the deck meetings in person. It was always a great time to catch up with everybody. So here we are, just a few months into it, and with the new normal, at least that's what it is so far. So kudos to you for that. All I've heard is people are just rolling with it, and they've adopted the virtual platform almost seamlessly. So good for you for doing that. We're very proud of everyone who has not allowed the craziness of the COVID to take us off our game. So we want to talk about new clubs, New Clubs 101. The idea of this is we want to get some consistency. We want to make sure everyone understands what we're doing, why we're doing it, some of the rationale behind things, so that we can establish the District 117 way of chartering new clubs. All right, so that's where we're coming. Give you an overview of what we're going to talk about today. Oh, did it go back? Can you see my screen now? I'm sorry, because it blinked.
Yep, we see it.
You're there? Okay, fantastic. Over. Why is there such a focus on chartering new clubs? So we'll talk about that. Where do they originate? So these leads for new clubs, where do we get them from? What is the process? How do we go about cultivating that lead, and what happens through the course of things to get it to be an actual chartered club? Who's involved in this process? And finally, does our virtual approach now, are they different? So those are some of the things we're going to go through today to give everyone a really good overview of how we will go forward chartering new clubs. Okay, so why do we need more clubs? Well, just like in your membership inside your clubs, there's a natural attrition that happens with clubs themselves as well. And often it happens, and it's through no fault of anyone. We particularly see this in the corporate environment, a couple of different ways. Maybe there's a change in management, and the new group comes in, and they may not be as supportive potentially. We don't understand why, but get restructuring at companies, and maybe the whole group is moved, or maybe a handful of those really key people who are the drivers of the club are elsewhere, and so it falls by the wayside. So that natural attrition happens with clubs, and so we have to put ourselves in a position to supplement that. So that's one of the reasons that we want to have new clubs. Here's the other one, and this is really understated sometimes: the opportunities for our members to grow their leadership skills. So many of the things that are provided through the chartering process give people an opportunity to step outside their comfort zone and be involved with things and do things that they've never done before on the leadership side. And since Where Leaders is Made is where we are, we have to understand that's a very integral part of the new club chartering process. And so we want to leverage that. We want to make sure we find people. Let's don't have the same person 5 and 6 and 7 times be a club mentor. Do that. Okay, great. And now find someone who hasn't done it, bring them in and mentor them through that process so that they get that experience as well. That's really what the process of charting new clubs gives us umpteen opportunities to put people in those positions to stretch themselves and build their skill set, which is massively important. Increasing the number of clubs and members strengthens our district. Now, when we were all one district before, we had 230 plus clubs. It was quite a lot. We've got about half that. But as we go forward and continue to build clubs in areas maybe there's not as many, the more there are that come online in those areas can help strengthen those areas. And just the membership numbers in and of themselves, you know, there's strength in numbers. So we want to continue to grow our district and grow our member base and our club base. That's naturally what you would do in almost any situation. You want to thrive and grow and be prosperous. And so that's another one of the big motivating factors behind why we make chartering clubs a priority. It's not at the expense of existing clubs. We don't want it to be that, and we don't want it to be perceived as that. It's really sort of a two-headed beast for the district, right? There's chartering the new clubs because of all the items that we've mentioned, but then there's also attending to the existing clubs to make sure they're successful. So one is not more important than the other. They're just different. They're both priorities for the district, and that's true of every district, really. Where do the new club leads originate? So what I've found is most people, if they've not been involved in the new club process, they have no idea. They're like, well, we'll get these. Toastmasters International gets inquiries. So if someone from somewhere, say in North Carolina someplace, says, hey, I'm interested in Toastmasters, and they contact Toastmasters International directly, what they do is they find out, okay, what district are these folks in? They get all their contact information, and then they forward it to the district. So on the Toastmasters International website, our district has a portal under Leadership Central, which is District Central. And in there, they keep two things for us. One, they keep a list of our officially registered prospective clubs. So the club number, the date in which they put in their charter paperwork, if all their paperwork has been completed, who the contact person is, and so on. In addition, they have the part where they put the prospective leads in. So they put, you know, John Jones, and here's his contact information. Here's his email and phone number. This is his address. This is the company, if applicable, where he's working and wants to start a club. So they give us all that information. So we go in periodically, pull that information down, and begin the process of making contact with those folks and sort of vetting that lead to see if it's a legitimate lead. So a lot of we get from Toastmasters because people have reached out, they didn't know where to go, so they just did a Google and they land at Toastmasters International. The other place we get quite a few leads is from our members. I think this happens probably more in companies than it does community, although we've certainly got leads for community clubs from our members. But so often you'll get someone say, well, you know what, at my job, I think it could be a possibility for a Toastmasters club. So because our members are out there, they sometimes can identify opportunities that district